Nebraska kicked off the start of fall camp here on Monday. Hi, Sean Callahan with HuskerOnline.com. As we heard from head coach Matt Rule and several players following fall camp, but first and foremost, what jumped out right away were the brand new grass practice fields that went in here over the summer. Nebraska put down a Bermuda blend of grass. It actually thrives in the heat, and it looked outstanding here on day one.
Did a great first day. Great to be out there for the first day. Not a lot that you can do, but good to see the fellas running around. Good to see, moving to the dorms. Appreciate the people here on campus allowing the guys to move into Selleck. Great to be out on those fields, and hopefully you guys had a chance to feel it and see it. It's like being in Augusta or being at one of these great golf courses. Really grateful to Troy Dannon for the investment. Courtney Gaucher and his team. I mean, they've re-graphicked the building. We continue to make investments in the best facilities in football, which is awesome. There's a lot of heat out there, so I think the guys were prepared for it. They didn't really have any trouble with the heat.
It was cool. At first when I got out there, I thought it was going to be a little tough, but then started cutting, and it felt really great out there. So props to the guys who did that. I know they don't get no love, but they did a good job with the field.
And as Matt Rule now moves into his third year of fall camp for Nebraska, one of the bigger themes is being player-led, and Rule talked about that more. And one of the ideas the players had, they came to him and said, hey, why don't the coaches not live with us in the dorms here for this first week? The players really want to run things behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, the players asked if the coaches wouldn't stay in there. Now we have some operations people, trainers. Gus Felder, his player development staff's in there, but I think they wanted they wanted to be their thing, their team. So as much as I love staying in a dorm, I was happy to oblige, and but no, that's what they wanted.
Yeah, that was our decision as players, as leaders, that we just wanted players in the dorms, and it's really just been a player-led team all summer, and I can feel it. Coach Rule has taken a step back, and he's given us the standard. He's given us everything he's wanted out of us, and now it's up to us to let the young guys know and uphold that standard.
The entire team reported to camp for Nebraska. There no longer is a camp roster limit. So Nebraska did have all 125 players here in fall camp, and Rule said he was glad that Judge Claudia Wilkin was able to make that work for the grandfathered players.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful that I believe it's Judge Wilkin that they grandfathered in the players. I mean, I don't know how I could have told some of these guys hey, you're not on the team. I mean, as I've told you guys, we had guys who said, hey, no matter what, I'm going to be here, and so they pay the same price. When you think about it, I mean, they're paying to go to school to go out there and do all that stuff. So I'm glad they're out there, and a lot of them are good players, and they're developing into good players. So, and then it allows us to have a lot of competition. Allows us to have 3 groups, sometimes maybe 4 groups. We'll have some injuries as we go. There'll be attrition. And have guys that can step in and give reps, I think, is really important. So even in the NFL, they have smaller, they have a 90-man roster, but you can still practice against other teams. You still have preseason games, right? So to get to 105, I've done it before at Baylor, but just having a couple more guys here, I think, really helps our practice flow and allows for more competition.
We got our first look at new punter Archie Wilson from Australia, and he brings a lot of tricks in his bag.
Yeah, he didn't really punt today. I saw him a little bit in the summer. I think what he can do is fantastic. I mean, he can roll right, he can roll left, he can really run. He's fast, he can throw. But I'm saying he can punt with both feet. Really fun guy. I'm really glad that he's here. But it's certainly not going to be a moving target. And I think the ability that he has to run the ball and throw the ball. I think we proved last year. I think we faked it a couple times. We'd love to fake the ball. So if you know that you don't know the aiming point, and you know that there's always a chance that he could throw the ball or run with it, I think that is going to put defenses really, really at a disadvantage. And he can kick all the different kicks. He can kick the banana ball. He can kick all. So when you talk about our wind here at Memorial Stadium, the ability to spin the ball in different ways, and so those guys that grew up playing rugby and Australian rules football, kind of basically play catch with their feet too, So I mean, he's really special with the things he can do.
We heard from running back Emmett Johnson as well, as he is definitely, as Rule said, solidified himself as the number 1 running back.
I think Emmett's clearly the running back number 1. Quentin, he pulled up a little bit lame today, I think. So we'll see. We'll see where he's at. As I've said, it's going to take 3-4 guys. to get through the season, and so there's a lot of work to be done at that position.
I'm excited for the depth behind me. I think those guys come in every single day. They work really hard, and they actually buy into what coach is trying to teach us. So I got no doubt that those guys are going to be ready behind me, and I'm going to do my job of making sure they're ready to go too.
Meanwhile, on the defensive line, it's an impressive group of young players that Cam Lenhart said has come a long way.
I mean, it's just got a little chip on our shoulder, you know what I mean, just going in there. And but I think we got great leadership, you know, Coach TB coming in there. You know, he's definitely preached a lot and taught us a lot since he's been there. And I got a lot of confidence in our group, and we're going to go out there and perform.
Who do you feel has made the biggest jump from maybe the end of last season until through the off season until today, and that group of young linemen?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like Keona's my guy. He's definitely, I see like a lot of potential in him, and I think he's definitely gonna do great things this season. Riley Van Pop, you know, just stepping up into a more leadership role. Elijah Judy. You know, we got a lot of guys deep. Dylan Parrott, you know, coming over from the O-line. We just got a lot of guys. You know, we're just pretty young, but I got a lot of faith in them.
Lenhart also added that he likes the style that new defensive line coach Terry Braden brings to the table.
Yeah, he got a lot of energy, and like he's like an old school coach. You know, he got a little old soul in him, and he just brings a lot of juice to practice and the meetings and stuff like that. And, you know, he's a great guy. Like, you know, he wants to get to know you on a personal level. You know, he's just also bringing a lot of experience from Kansas City, so it's always great. You know, he's teaching what he taught like Chris Jones, and you know, he's bringing it to us. So.
And finally, we did hear from tight end Luke Lindenmeyer as he looks to thrive in Dana Holgerson's offense, where right now it looks like Nebraska could have 4 different tight ends that could have roles in 2025.
Well, I was saying all spring that we were tight end U, and like seeing Carter and Mac finally out there, I was like, yeah, this is tight end U. Like we got guys everywhere. It's exciting. Yeah, like I was kind of joking, like it was nice having him back because during routes on air, I'd be gassed just having to do a route, come back, do another route. But now we got enough guys to rotate through, and now I can just kind of take a step back and help the younger guys too and coach them up a little bit more.
Huskers will return back to work here on Tuesday for their second fall camp practice. For HuskerOnline.com, I'm Sean Callahan.